Isn't there a song that was me trying? This is me. I think it was Taylor Swift. I was too slow to be a Swiftie. And I was too messy. Swifter? Someone that done did Swift? That ain't me, man. I ain't Swift, so I would never ever be a Swiftie. I do like to experience life with other people, though. The gathering, the event, that is something that I like to do. I like to be a part of things that other people are a part of. Then I watch them have their experience. My new thing, I live in a tourist town. I'll go around and I'll record people recording themselves. I don't mind if people do it to me. I've yet to see myself on the internet. Even with I got one of my videos was watched over 1 million times. You don't see my face, you hear my voice. And it was on other people's channels. I didn't get credit for any of the views. It is about a 50-50 mix that it was the encounter between me and Deputy Doofus of Taos County. Actually, I'm very grateful that my face isn't in there. Although there did exist at some point, his vest cam was of me clowning him. So I bet he got razzed a lot in his department, you know, the fraternal brotherhood of butt stuff. Do as I say, because don't you know who I am? All that silly stuff. I started to get sad, so I said, you know what? I'm not going to get sad. I'm just going to do it. Talk on the internet. That's what I'm going to do. Evidently, it's been 25 years since 9/11. I can't believe 25 years has passed. Because I tell this story. For the last 10 years, I've tell it every once a year. Sometimes I tell it more. Of my account of being in the military on that day. And ever since then, I've been putting together how America's a Ponzi scheme. And when we exercise and play war, that's like in Hollywood, how they do takes on a set, how they set up the stage and they do takes and they record the show. I guess Shifting Gears is doing it right now. And they do the same thing in the military. It's the same thing. We did it, okay, so when I enlisted, it was the end of 2020. I said 2020, I very much so misspoke. The year 2000. I enlisted to go to college, as so many people in places that I came from do. Because we don't have very many options, and the world is such a competitive place. We have to do things to give ourselves better advantage to make ourselves compete against the nepotism. And what you find out that the United States is such a nepotistic place that it doesn't matter if you go to college, that the position is already filled. You know how they say, like, when kids are born, they start getting them a place in their local community and like the charter schools and stuff like that? They already have a place. See, they've been lying about what the world is for a long time. Perception is reality, so they tell us the world is Christmas and Easter and elections. The world is car shows and skiing and all the best places, staying at the best hotels, until an ice glacier breaks up at top and then unplugs a wall of water all the way through Nepal. Like, that was the first time the world saw so many people get wiped off the face of the earth. That's the first time that, like, so many people people saw an advantage point of ants of the earth being wiped away. Just like on 9/11. There were 3,000 people that all left at the same time. And when you're a sensitive being and you're in tune with the world, you hear the screams of 1,000 souls. And then it's silence because all of a sudden they're at peace. And that's what happened overnight. I woke up this morning and I said, something big happened last night. I feel like I'm drunk, and I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I exercise. I eat pretty clean. The dirtiest thing I eat is sugar. And I try to eat good sugar. And I try to eat less sugar than protein. I eat a lot of protein because I like to lift weights. Yeah, and the seashells are in the mesa because we were underwater at some point. Everybody gets a chance to ride planet Earth. See, it's a forever. You know how they say, like, for weeks people are like, something huge is going to happen because it's a ripple in the forest, because we create these events with the insecurity within ourselves on a mass scale consciousness level. When people live in fear, Creator says, you want to be scared? I'll give you a reason to be scared. I'll rebuild out of this. We're seeing what happened in history in the Bible when they talk about the floods. We're seeing our version, and we just get to record it. In real life. Because greed got too big. Because people's desire to chase sensations and live of earthly things got bigger than their desire to plug into source and say, take care of your neighbors. This could happen in any event. Good news, Gary, Indiana has their power back after being without their power for 340,000 people without power for over a week. Well, so many people are continued to be unfazed. I've been around floods. I haven't been in a flood. That's scary. My terror comes from other people, from people that abuse others. That's the scary in my world, is people that look like they're okay. It don't matter. What the world thinks about me, it has nothing to do with me. It's not I don't care. Even if people really, really like me, I don't care. Somebody told me today, I used to hear stories about how highly people would speak of me, and they would never say it to me. So I don't care. I don't care if people hate me. I don't care if people don't like me. I'm here to make sure my mom's comfortable. Ma, you want to say hi? Want to say hi? Are you happy? All right. Then I win. If mom's happy, I win, because the planet is full of miserable people that go around and do whatever they want, take care of themselves. And they don't know the joy of what it is to take care of other people. They only know what it is to do the next best thing. Do you hear about that dad that left his 7-year-old kid on the mountain? Was that Mount Fuji or something? Said, stay here. You know, that same thing happened to me. I was 10 years old, and it wasn't Mount Fuji. It was at Six Flags Magic Mountain in California. My brother, my stepmonster Christy, and my father all went off. They were gone like over 2 hours. I was a 10-year-old girl, and I had to pee so bad, about peed my pants. And I didn't want to go to the bathroom and then come back and then miss them, so I just waited there until they showed up. Because they said, wait here, don't go anywhere. And I was just this little Asperger's kid, this little retard, that they left next to a light pole so they could go on the Colossus. See, people learn how to treat people from how they watch other people treat people. And my father is a trash heap. He's one of those Freemason those club members, you know. I don't like clubs. I was in AA. It learned me how to not drink. It learned me how to cope with life on life's terms. It did help. It also taught me that people, it's a program of, supposedly a program of honesty. It gives a lot of these people that are deceivers practice on how to trick simple-minded people. It's just a club because there's always a club within the club. There's always people that will come from disingenuous places. And I'm trying to figure out how to add to people's lives. Every day I come up with new ideas. I'm racking up my points at SIDS. I got $80 saved. So I can just have a picnic for other throwaways like me. People, scumbags, trash heaps, people that get ignored. Like, you don't exist to me. You're not my problem. I don't exist because people look at me and they're like, oh, she just, you know how many times that people have said to me, she just wants someone to take care of her mom for her. And I'm like, well, that's kind of a true statement, because I haven't had a day off where I could go off and just like piss away more than 2 hours since 2017. And then I see all these influencers, these people on the internet, they're like, I'm an influencer, I travel hither, dither, yon, I stay in this Airbnb, I stay here, I have this good time, I have that good time. Oh no, life got scary, bail me out, okay, throw money at the influencer, life is great again, you know, until they're crying on the internet. Those are monetized beings. I'm not a monetized being. Everything I do, I give away. All the stories I have for free. All the life experience I have is for free. All of it is for free. And what you're going to find more is how the desperation is going to seep out into the comforts of others that have always been comfortable. Like, more I see these people that are talking about, oh, we lived here 40 years, I never seen it like this. Well, you also never help people like me get out of a bad situation either, because people like me have been in bad situations going, help, help, we need help. And they're like, I can't be bothered because I'm over here on my compound, being all comfortable, not bothered. Till that river rises. So 25 years and they're still trying to, I saw just on ABC some story about some guy in a prison that they say he did it. He was the mastermind of 9/11. And I was like, they're really still trying to perpetuate that storyline? They really think people are buying into that stuff, huh? Really, of all the evidence given that is not true. Building 7 and my account, like Sergeant Peterson came tearing down the stairs. America's under attack. I'm like, I wonder if somebody if like they got a mass memo. It said at this time, go out and all yell, America's under attack, so that instills, into the people that the work they're about to do is for America. I didn't know the towers fell until 10:30 that night, Central Time. I had to go down to the laundry room in the dorms and look up and be like, what? That's a controlled demolition. They're trying to say planes did that? My little Aspie brain all, no, not buying that. No, not buying that. From Sergeant Peterson almost wiping out, coming down the stairs with this, America's under attack, and then all of a sudden we're deploying equipment. We're just getting planes in the air full of equipment so we can go over there and take care of business. And that's what I started figuring out. And then Bush showed up on base, and that's when he taxied by, and I gave him the finger out the 8-shop door. I was always a clown. Just F you. Just F you. I'll do your stupid job. You know what? F you, though, while I'm doing it. So, I did extra sets today, and then I see other people unhinged on the internet. So I'm glad I used my energy wisely. This kid he kept coming across my FYP. He's got a Franken bike, and today he was 2 sheets into the wind. Just wasted. Let the demons take over. I don't know if I'd ever seen him like that before. People are going to be crashing out more on the internet. It's alright, because we're desensitized, right? As a collective, as a whole, we're just going to just keep ignoring stuff. Everything's okay until it comes knocking on your door. So 9/11, after Bush came in the bunker where they bring all the airmen in. When you get to Offutt, they take you on a bus and show you around Omaha, show you. Well, it's not the same anymore. But when I got there, Rosenblatt was there. That's where the College World Series was for years. Wow. Then they built a stadium designated specifically for the College World Series. I was IT. We always got tickets for that stuff, but I hated sports, so I would be the one that'd be like, hey, I'll stay back and answer phones, and then later, can I cut out early sometime, I would rather work than go do that, sit and hear, because sports are just, mind-numbing to me. I have a lot of numbers in my head, and none of them. The thing of it is I could always retain enough that I could have a conversation. I would go, because I was IT, and IT's a male-dominated career, pretty much. I mean, less now, more so then in the 2000s, 10s, whenever before I was a stay-at-home daughter. And they would I would hear them talking about sports, and I would just read a headline in a cubicle, and then I'd just go say the headline. And they would be like, yeah, and they would be set off into a different trajectory. I would set up their whole conversation, and then I'd leave. I do that. I drop little tidbits to give people to think about, and then I leave them to think about it. Because my whole life, people gave me tough love because they didn't like me. They didn't like me, so they barely treated me with decency. And so I got used to scraps and stuff and just being treated bad. I just got used to that's just how they are, is what I was told. People are just like that. One time I was bebopping home, tripping out, minding my own business. I was I don't know, high school. My brother was already gone. He already left to college, I was just kind of trying to figure out where I belonged in the world. And I walked past this building where they had, in Shasta Lake, where they had, the community center. And there were people inside. Mom taught me if you see people doing something, ask them if they need help. So, that's what I did. And there's these people setting up for a wedding. Ed Milligan and Sally Sharp. That's who the wedding was for. They were high school sweethearts. And my brother was best friends with Ed. And I was walking home. I was up all night the night before and stuff like that too. And then they're like, oh, do you want to come to the wedding? Evidently, see, people do things that they don't want to do all the time, and then say, well, she didn't take a hint. And I'm autistic, so you got to tell me, I don't want anything to do with you. Before I realize, okay, I have to leave them alone because I'll keep trying to be their friend. People don't want to be my friend. So then I found out my brother was going to this wedding. He came to town a lot, and he wouldn't tell me and Mom. One time I saw him drive past me, and he just turned his head. And so this is just things I processed, and then you fast forward years and years and years, right? Because I'm still on off it 25 years ago, and I see the lie then. And then 2 years later, they sent me to Crete when we bombed Iraq for no reason, because that's just what America does. I saw the B-1. I got to go into the cockpit of a B-1 bomber. Those are the planes that set off those are the big boy planes that drop the big bombs back when they actually dropped bombs. And there was a pilot. Now it's just drone warfare. Now they just have a lot of unmanned drones and stuff like that. So, because they don't, number one, they're not making new airplanes. They just try to keep the old ones intact. Because ever since, I don't know, whenever they started offshoring, like, industry, whenever America got lazy, when was that? That's progressively been happening for a long time. How long has that been? Was that Reagan? My brother was a big fan of Reagan. When there's the program, and then there's the people that don't go along with the program. And then there's me. There's people that don't go along with the program. And then there's me. So I had to get all Sarge Marge on someone today, because I give people the benefit of the doubt, because I changed. I used to be an alcoholic, drunk, self-centered, just didn't even care about nobody but me. All the bad, terrible things, until I became a stay-at-home daughter. Because usually people have kids, and then they learn how to live beyond themselves. They learn how to become less selfish, because they learn how to take care of other people through their kids. I had to learn how to take care of other people. I had to learn how to take care of me by taking care of Mom. People had to tell me how to, besides from like using my energy of exercising. And I have always been pretty good with diet, because I've taken so many, the military put me through nutrition courses. I mean, I know a lot. I'm educated, and I'm so educated. I just want to tell people what I know, so they don't have to pay for all the lessons that I had to learn the hard way. Because I don't want them to make the same mistakes I did. Never let anyone you love enlist in the military. If you love somebody, if you don't care about them, like my family didn't care about me, yeah, sure, whatever. Because I was a throwaway. I wasn't ever supposed to. They said in 1987 that I would probably be institutionalized, never amount to anything. So when I see people waste their lives on stupid stuff, it hurts my heart. Especially when you see all that people could be, and then they just don't feel like it. And so now I got an answer today, and it's just another end of a timeline that's not going to exist. Like, do you ever hear about a movie that comes out, you want to see the movie so bad, everybody else sees the movie, they talk about what a great movie it is, and then you see the movie, and you're like having an entirely different experience than the rest of the world, and it was terrible, and what are they talking about, and all that stuff. That's pretty much like kind of how I see my life has been. I've been a part of all these institutions. I've worked in hospitals. I've worked at universities. I've worked around in the military, like supposedly the cream of all of the minds that run the world, minus entertainment. I didn't mess with entertainment. I liked going to shows. My grandparents, we grew up in, I wonder if the Morro Bay, or what is it, Santa Maria. You alright, Mom? What's wrong? You want something? You comfortable? You just listening to me?
Yes.
Melodrama. I grew up going to melodramas, which made it hard. They broke my brain when I was a kid. I'm one of those people, they turn switches on you and make your body grow up before your mind's ready to follow. And sometimes the mind never follows. But that's what they did to me. And I've been trying to circumvent how my natural desires my whole life. I've been trying not to do what they do, because they broke my mind and my body. So I've been trying to keep it together and not, live in sin, because, I have all these earthly, because they freaking broke my brain and my body. They did. It's just, and I'm living with the ramifications and doing the best that I can with what I got and trying to take care of my mom at the same time. And there's no agency that exists to support people like me. There isn't. There's not. There's no. They say go to shitty, because there's nobody I trust to hang out with my mom. There's nobody. In the county in which I live, they had 3 people arrested in a very short time. They got on brought up on charges for elder abuse. So I just take Mom with me whenever I can. The Great American Melodrama and Vaudeville in Oceano, California. So these are my early childhood. And then during the matinee, the actors and the performers, they work the concession stand. And every time somebody puts money in the jar, they ring the bell and the whole room goes, "Thank you for the tip." People are like, "Why are you so loud?" I'm like, so the people back there can hear. Plus, I was one of those retarded kids, and then they made me go to speech class with the old lady with the really tight bun. Little round lady. I wear a tight bun now sometimes too. I'll wrap my hair up real tight sometimes. Now I'm the little old lady with the tight bun. So don't make fun of the little old ladies, because if you're lucky, you might end up like them one day yourself. And she would put me through all these exercises. Basically, she gave me acting class and in speech class. She taught me how to make myself presentable and acceptable to the rest of the world. Because I'm one of those people that, I was always, you could be dyslexic, but we'll just say that you're not. I'm surprised they said I was Asperger's. They said a lot, "You're angry about things." And then I go down the list and give them reasons why, and don't understand how come I don't live in a world where that's allowed to happen. And then I lose them, and then people just look right through me. You'd be surprised how often people don't see me. I don't exist. I don't exist. I swear, we don't exist, Mama. I bet my brother is just going to work until he dies, because he doesn't want to have a retirement party, because somewhere along the lines, they're going to want to invite his family, like on Hook, to celebrate Grandma Winnie, or whatever, Wendy or whatever. Marge, you want your mom and your sister to come? He didn't see, because he separates people, narcissists like him, they separate their lives. I was the best man in his wedding, his second wedding, his take 2. Because men like him have a dress rehearsal practice marriage. And then with that, they can see how far they can push their boundaries. And then with the second one, it's like, don't do anything like you did with the first one. You gotta act better than that. He's a frat boy. He's a machismo. Like he and his friends are why the United States are crumbling now, because they don't have integrity. They have avoidance. They have fantasy football leagues. They have ski passes. Frequent trips to San Francisco. Like, they live in these loops that don't do nobody no good. You know? And they don't want to know. They don't see, if these people like me, they know, I've seen too much. I know too much. So they've been trying to say I was crazy for years, but ask them to give examples of my insanity. That I take care of my mom? Is that what it is insane? That I didn't put her in an old folks home? People think I'm crazy for that. You're crazy. I had people that have said in one breath that family is everything and you take care of your family under all circumstances, and then the other breath tell me how I'm supposed to put my mother in a home. I don't even talk to those people anymore. I don't talk to nobody no more. I just let everybody live their lives and learn the consequences of what happens when you just do what you want all the time. Because I used to live like that, and nothing good comes from it. Nothing good comes from just chasing sensations. It doesn't. We always have to rectify what we do in our life. And if we do nothing, there comes a time that I'm going to need help. And it's not going to be there because I ignored all the people around me that needed help. I've done that before. I've lived like that before. I don't want to live like that before. The ways I've lived before, I don't live that way anymore because I don't want to live that way no more. So I don't do the things I used to do. I don't hang out with the same people. I don't hang out with people that do the same thing. I don't hang out with nobody that annoys me. Pretty much everybody annoys me. Oh my gosh, the whole storyline with the young man tormented, like, I was the young man tormented in a girl's body, and I never got the sympathy that these little crap stains on the fabric of society milk up every, hey babe. How about the babers? How about the people that like they're the same person and they just find the same spouse, and if it doesn't work out with them, they break up and then they find a different version in a different body, so they don't ever have to get better. They can just always get away with, hey babe, you come and get me out of jail, babe? Frickin' people waste their lives on losers. I won't do it. I learned in AA that I'm not going to put more effort into helping people than they're going to put into themselves. And I'll remember the time I didn't like sponsoring women because it was different for me. They always say, it's not different for you. It was different for me because when I'm sitting across a table and a woman who I just recently started sponsoring, I'm talking about my experience, strength, and hope. And this chick thinks we're on an ice cream date, is telling me about how she wants to leave her husband and be with me. And do I have to tell people I am not the option? I am not the option. I am never the one that's going to say, leave your spouse for me. That's not me. I don't mess with messy like that. My messy is people are weird for stuff like that. Oh, did I mention she was like 8 months pregnant at the time? I think it's weird when people are just weird. They're just weird because they don't got no soul. They don't got no spirit. They're just like, I'm just going to do whatever. As long as I got a place to put it, man, that's all that matters. And a white Russian every now and again? I can't drink. I never was. How many times can I not drink White Russians? So yeah, I learned a long time ago that everything's pretend. I remember going in to get ice cream at McCall's Dairy in Redding, California with my mom's boyfriend. He painted the place and they didn't pay him, so he said, well, let's just go get ice cream out of the freezer instead. I must have been 10 years old. So I was a 10-year-old girl. And we're just walking through this plant because he knows it because he painted the place. Then we walk right into the freezer. He's like, here, hold your arms out. He loads my arms with a bunch of ice cream. And then walked out. He said, just don't be scared. Act like you belong here. And I'm thinking, I'm a 10-year-old girl. You know, you just act like you belong there and people leave you alone. You just go off and do whatever you want whenever you feel like it. I never used that knowledge to do, like, shady, shystery stuff. Sure, I took stuff when I was a kid. I used to put stuff in my mouth at Thrifties. We go to the Thrifties in Morro Bay, and one time there's a package of rubber little bullets, and I put a couple of those in my mouth, and then as soon as we left the store, they wondered why I wasn't making noise. What's in your mouth? What's in your mouth? Spit it out, you know, and I spit out these little rubber bullets and had to take them back into the manager and profess my thievery. And I didn't like how I felt when I did that, so I stole a pair of sunglasses one time. I did write the eye doctor that I took them from. After I got sober, I wrote him a thank you, or a I'm sorry apology letter and a card and a check for the amount of the sunglasses that I took, and asked him if there's anything else I need to do to make, if I owe him more money, to let me know. And he actually wrote back and said no, paid in full. So, you know, you screw some. I used to screw people over when I was a young girl. Well, I look at it like that. I don't know. People see things different. I just don't want to be that person that acts like that anymore. I don't want to be the chick that, oh, it's just it's gonna go after somebody else's girl. You know, stuff like, oh, they should be with me. I'm a better option than them. That's like I've been around people like that. It's easy for me to pick up on that. I can act like that easily. I shouldn't, and so I don't. I can. I am my father's daughter. My dad's a total machismo. I learned how to manipulate women by watching my dad and then the men that my mom dated. They were manipulators. And then my brother learned how to master manipulate by being ingrained into this system. Because he's a pawn and he's easy to compromise. So every time is someone of questionable character, you know that you can get them to do whatever you want. Because remember that one time? You owe me or whatever? World's a weird place. It's alright. I just, I guess this eclipse is impacting me that I care less. I care more about my own community and less about anything out there. In my own community, I mean Mom and her comfort, and lunaticals and Stanleys, and just trying to keep the optimal temperature from where we're at. Whenever we do travel out there, we come across anyone that needs anything, then hopefully we can be of some sort of assistance. Because we're all supposed to be the stewards of this earth. It opened in the summer of 75, and then year-round in 76, so I started probably going in 82. Speaking of 82, I started watching that because that Dolly Parton died, right? The witch. She's a witch. She's part of. She should have been like my queen the monarch programming that they integrated me into. I was too much of a prude. People give me cooties. Like, I had this thing about being with people that have been with a lot of other people. I just feel like if I'm with them, I'm with a whole room of people, and that always creeped me out. So I've been abstinent more in my life than I haven't been, because there's a lot of bloodlines I just don't want to entangle myself with. My dad was a machismo, and so, like, I remember New Year's Eve, I was 8 years old. With him and my stepmom, Sir Christy, and it's before my sister was born. I think I can't remember what, because they moved around a lot too. They were in like Bakersfield, Fresno, Santa Maria. They were in a lot of places. So I think it was Bakersfield. And my dad was working in the oil fields. And they were like, stay up till midnight. There's a big old surprise. Stay up till midnight. And I'm 8, I'm fighting to stay up till midnight. And then they put on the best little whorehouse in Texas. Now, I was girl crazy. I was a little girl that was girl crazy. But since they messed with me in vitro, I was basically like a little dude in a chick's body that was girl crazy. And I knew that it was like wrong, but I always acted the right way. And it was just, living in here has always been such a task, a difficult task. It's easier now, it's better now, I just don't rely so many on the thoughts. Or feelings and emotions. I'm just like, this is what needs to be taken care of, take care of it. Do the dishes, If you see something dirty, make it clean, stuff like that. I try. Do the best I can. So, now there's all these people that, I've been provoked for a long time. Because if I just get mad enough one day, I'll do something and I'll just get locked away forever. She'll do it to herself. Look at all the other times she did it to herself. But I just turned over any power I think I have outside of myself to something that says, don't do that because you feel like it. Do it. Don't do it because it's the right thing to do. Keep your hands to yourself. Look at how different the whole planet would be if people just lived by that rule of keep your hands to yourself. Don't touch other people. Don't touch other people. Even if you like them, don't touch them. Just based on that, nope, don't matter, because why? The world plays video games. As long as people have their gaming console. I hope a bunch of people, so how many people were just without power in Indiana, in Gary, Indiana? Mom, as soon as I'm done with this, I'll get your dose for your stomach, okay? 370,000 customers lost power, and that more than 364,000 have had their service restored as of tonight. The remaining customers should have power back Tuesday. Why did it take so long? It was a rough 2 weeks. At one point, more than 20,000 customers in Gary were still in the dark, and the utility said roughly 300 poles and 44 power transmission poles needed to be repaired or replaced from 99-mile-an-hour winds. I've been in 90-mile-an-hour winds and 92-mile-an-hour winds. It's like a train. It's scary. Like, if you're in sand, that essentially could scrub the flesh off a human. People don't get how brutal nature is. They just want to play too much. I wonder how many Americans died in. So tonight, if you're checking on someone in Gary, odds are they have power again. I don't know why Why did it take so long to restore power? Where was the complacency? Where was the negligence? Somebody dropped the ball. That's too long. That's way too long. Longest we ever went without power was 23 hours. That was right when Mom's dog Sass died. I was trying to keep it warm. It was like July. It was like New Year's Eve. Power went out for over 24 hours. I was keeping the trailer warm with the heat from the stove. And then that was when Mom's little dog was transitioning. There was a huge amount of physical damage, plus a lot of questions about the grid before the storm. Both are now under formal investigation. No final forming of negligence yet, which is why restoration dragged for 2 weeks. The NIPSCO calls for the largest outage in its history. The storm itself was extreme for inland. It was like a hurricane that came inland, so because they play. Waterfront property isn't necessarily a safe place ever. Proximity is good though. But see, even if you're on higher ground, like living on Earth is just such a crapshoot, and people act like it's so like they control how comfortable their lives are, and Creator just scoffs at people's plans. At peak, up to 374,000 customers, roughly 75% of the $500,000 customer territory. The good news where I live is in the county, there's only 34,000 people in the whole county. So usually when power goes out, except for that one time, I don't know why it went out for 23 hours that day, that time. I don't know. I don't remember. I was out of power. I was busy trying to keep Mom and the dogs freaking comfortable. The company said the storm destroyed 335 poles and knocked out 27 substations, and roughly 300 poles and 44 power transmission poles needed to be repaired or replaced by Gary alone as a result. See, I was going to be a pole climber. I think that's funny, because I was going to be a lineman. That was my initial job in the military, and then things happened and I got rerouted into age. I always pay attention to pole linemen, because that was going to be me. You know, I looked up like the training for it. I'm like, man, that shit's scary, but alright. Because I don't like heights. I'll do with my job, so I'm glad it didn't work out. So I paid close attention, and I dated this chick, like her bloodline put the power in, the first power lines in North Omaha. When it became when the white people came, the colonists came and said, we're going to designate this as ours and do what we see fit to make things better. They've been doing it since, God, all time. Now we're seeing all the Canaanites just rise into living their best foolishness, just living their best life to suck that. I mean, it's so weird how we're living these biblical times, and yet people are gearing up for football season. It's a trip, Mom, huh? It's about I got.